Okay, so I'm about to go live on TikTok. I just did Instagram, so I'm not gonna redo everything that you guys have probably already saw, but I just wanted to let you know that this is a sidebar of what I was trying to do, and it's pretty much gonna tell you as martial artists a few do's and don'ts. Okay, so let me hit the live first, and let's see if TikTok's gonna let me go live. Okay, it's going live. Okay. Echo Fake Grey Wolf here. Welcome to Company Habit number 2 and TikTok. Welcome. So I just did 2 live to YouTube rather, and I did Instagram. I will be posting them after I do this live, after I take everything to set up inside the house. So in my last 2 videos, I did some demonstrations. I will probably do a demonstration here. This will not be a long live, but just long enough for y'all to know the Wall's house is falling. Okay. Well, maybe they'll rebuild the damn thing. Anyway, if you're going to take a martial art, and if you are a martial arts student, or if you are a martial art teacher and you happen to stumble across this, it is time for everyone to be informed and to be honest on everything involving martial arts. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of people get into martial arts and think they're going to jump up and be the next Bruce Lee or the next Billy Badass to come along. Which is not always the truth, because if you don't put work in, you're not going to be as successful in martial arts as you think, and that is the purpose of this video. Now, the truth of the matter is, if you're going to do martial arts, you're going to learn the easy way or the hard way. Go before I hurt you. You know what I'm doing. Why would you do that? Oh, never mind, because that's what you do. Stupid shit. I apologize. Anyhow, if you're going to take a martial art, rule number 1, pay attention to your teacher, pay attention to yourself, pay attention to how your teacher deals with you. Alright? And the reason why I say that is because if your teacher is only invested in your wallet, then you need to get a new teacher. Alright? People aren't going to tell you the truth. I am going to tell you the truth. You need to get a new teacher. If you are the worst student in class and he doesn't pull you off to the side and work with you, he's a horrible teacher. Or she is a horrible teacher. Now, not everybody has perfect body mechanics. That's also what this is about. And not everybody has range of motion. It might not be that you are a horrible student. It might just be that your body is not equipped to do that. A professional teacher of martial arts should be able to point that out and keep you coming back to class. In other words, build your confidence up instead of letting you think, oh, I suck, oh, I suck, oh, I suck. Okay, first, no matter what, never tell yourself you suck, because martial arts is 200% mental, 100% physical. Alright? I know you're all thinking, how does that work? Because you know everybody's talking about 110%, 110%. I don't think that way. The reason why it's 200% mental and 100% physical is because 9 times out of 10, you can defeat yourself or you can beat yourself by how your mind thinks. I lost one sparring match to a guy. I told you guys this before because he was from New York. He had everybody, including my family, supporting him. But when it got ready to get real, he never fought me because he woke up a sleeping dragon. It's like this boss is about to wake up a sleeping dragon, and I'm going to wind up kicking his ass. Stay up there. You're your house where no one can get stung. Oh, there's a couple of them up there. I'll be damned. Sorry, y'all. Let me double check that. Okay, my mistake. They're pipe holders. Anyway, if your teacher isn't encouraging you, isn't working with you, but can't wait for you to cut that check, and if you miss a payment and they're all about, hey man, you know you're a couple of days late on your check, but you're sucking ass in his class, and he's not working with you, or she, then they suck as a fucking teacher. If you're sitting here and you're doing this, but it looks like this, and he's not telling you, he's not getting in front of you, you know, right punch, boom, left punch, boom, right punch, boom, left punch, boom, right punch, boom, left punch, boom. And he's not going through you while you're going right punch, left punch, close fist, open fist, close fist. You know, if he's not teaching you that shit and he's not working with you, find a new teacher. If he's not taking the time to work with you and the other 6 students out of 32 of y'all that's in that room that aren't physically capable of following with the others, it could be your body mechanics, it could be your genetics, it could be a numerous of things. The one thing it is not is that you do not suck, right? You have to be adapted to your body, like so. This is my side kick, boom, okay? And this is what I learned in Taekwondo for my side kick, where I chamber the bitch, boom, and then I launch it out, all right? Because of old age and my body mechanics and this hip needing to be replaced, I have to be very careful at what I do, all right? This is my snake. See the mouth? It is open. So I strike, and I strike, and I strike, the mouth is open. This is my crane. So I block, and I strike, the mouth is closed. All right? Because cranes mostly defend. So we block, 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 strike, strike, you know, but they're mostly going to be blocks. All right? Now the snake, on the other hand, the snake is venomous. Not the Hollywood snake with the rattle. Fuck that shit. This snake. Alright? Boom. Strike. Boom. Snakes have to coil and then strike. You don't necessarily have to coil, but you do have to strike. So you're blocking and then you strike. You know, if the teacher's not there to work with that shit, they're a horrible teacher. If they're working on all the students, if they don't so much come by and identify your flaws or try to help you adjust them, they should probably not be teaching. Or you should probably stop paying them and go to a teacher that is going to put that time in. And this is the most important part of this video. Very, very important. Let's see if I can say this respectfully. So, if you're not Asian, then you don't know this. And if you're not a martial artist, you don't know this. But a lot of the Asian prodigies of martial arts start when they're 3. They're potty trained and they know how to carry on a conversation because they've learned it for quite some time. You know, and once you learn something, you tend to learn more. And if you are a child and if it's taught to you right, you will stick with it versus adults who, I'm bored, or teenagers, I'm bored. And those are things that you need to be aware of. Like, you actually, if you're going to do martial arts, please want to be there. And if you're a teacher teaching martial arts, make your students want to stay there. Okay? Because otherwise, if it's just an exchange of money and little skill versus money and a lot of skill, then you're doing yourself and your student a disservice and don't do that. So, going mantis. You want to make sure that your mantis is taught properly in the proper striking position, which again, a mantis coils like a snake. So you can do it in snake, you can do it in mantis. Now, understand, when you mantis strike, it's a 2-finger jab. So you're here, block, strike, strike. You know, you'll figure that shit out. But you also can use kicks. So strike, boom. Strike, low, boom. You know, you'll figure it out. I'm having a camera glitch in my video, so that's going to be fun. But understand, if your teacher is not working with you, it's a problem. Now here's the good news. It's a problem if you let it become a problem. If your teacher doesn't come to you, go to your teacher. If your teacher decides that he doesn't want to deal with this shit, quit paying the fucker and stop going to a school. Okay? Because in the long run, if you're a teacher and you don't give a shit about your students, then you have no need to be teaching. Don't come at me. I'm telling the truth. When I was with Mr. Ennis rode my ass because I couldn't do cops. Rode my ass every fucking day I was in class. He didn't take time to correct my fuck-ups. He took time making me do push-ups, giving me discipline, but he never took that time to say, here's what's going to happen. I'm not going to transfer you into a lower or a new class, or you'll be better than the newbies. I'm going to take the time to teach you how to do the collar right. And after I see you do it right, I'm going to go ahead and grade you so that you can stay with the group that you're in. And every time we come up with a problem, we're going to try and solve it. Mr. Ennis didn't do that. It's like, you are my worst student, period. You can't do katas. Why can't you do katas? And he rode my ass about this shit. And I told him, but I'm going to tell you, I didn't learn katas. When I learned martial arts, it was freestyle karate. They taught me how to hit and where to hit. Katas was not an option. They taught me how to punch. They taught me how to kick. They taught me how to block. They taught me where to punch. They taught me where to kick. All right? And that's all I needed because I fought in the streets as a kid. I didn't have a choice, but I needed that extra shit because I'm small. Okay? I'm 5'3.5". And imagine me at 7 years old being like 4'2", 4'11", really, really small. I started Taekwondo between the ages of 15 and 17. So I can't give you the exact date, remember, because the dojo moved 3 times. Alright? But understand, I couldn't do katas. It looks like my alarm's going off. That might have been a text message. I don't know what the hell that was. But anyway, I had to bust my ass before I got to Mr. Ennis to get as good as I am. So you, as a student, I'm going to end the live with this little bit of advice. When you are done at the dojo, go home. Put another hour in. If you can't do an hour, do 30 minutes. If you can't do 30, do 10. If you can't do 10, at least do 5. Do no less than 2. Okay? And do it every day. Every day. Now, before I end the live, I'm going to talk about styles and body size. Alright? Because I want you guys to understand, no style is really off limits to your body size. It's just that some styles will work better per your body size. Alright? My saying is simple. If you're 6'2" and above, Kung Fu really can't give you love. Especially the close quarter combat. If you're 6 foot and below, Kung Fu is the way to go. And the reason why in the Kung Fu stand, I prefer Kung Fu over all martial arts, or Gung Fu, or Wing Chun, but it's also because I'm small, that's what I practice. Alright? So you got to be aware of that. I'm small, that's what I practice. It was designed for smaller people. Judo is also for smaller people. Alright? Kempo, kind of designed for smaller people. Aikido can go any way. Kickboxing is more designed for taller people, but smaller people can know it too. You know, and same thing with Thai fighting, same thing with Taekwondo, same thing with Kempo, same thing with just about every martial art. But when it comes to you having height and very long limbs, some of the martial arts that I know will work more against you than for you, especially when it's like you got to do a down punch to somebody my size and they got gravity plus your momentum. It's going to be a hell of a lot easier for me to throw somebody 6'5" when they have to punch down to hit me in the face. All I have to do is intercept it and throw their ass. That is going to be a lot easier because they're not going to think that I can do it. And an unexpected ass whooping often comes to people who underestimate their enemy. As a student of martial arts, you need to, 1, be well-rounded. 2, you need to eat, breathe, sleep, and drink it. So you put an hour in at the dojo, you come home and give it 45 more minutes. If you have to work and you can't, then you come home and you give it at least 2. Even if you just have to practice up here, practice your moves at your desk, you know, put that fucking work in. You have to put that work in. Now back to body mechanics really, really quick. Alright, as you guys know, I had a hip replacement, so this leg doesn't work like it used to. This leg needs a hip replacement, so it's not working the way I want it to all the time. Alright? Knowing that, I have to adapt to every situation that I'm in, especially when it comes to kicking and punching. knowing that you now know that I have a hip replacement. Like I haven't talked about this before. You know that I need a hip replacement. So now you have targets. Now that I have confessed to you having targets, I know that if I'm ever attacked by somebody who watched my videos, they can only go for my legs. But my legs aren't the only thing that I have been practicing with. Because for 3 years I had to improve my hand game. Alright? And between archery and improving my hand game, I had to learn different grips to work with different situations. So again, when you sit in that dojo for that hour, and you train and you bust your ass and you work up that sweat, when you go home, put your sweaty ass gi back on, or train in whatever you're wearing, and give it another 45 minutes, if you can. If you can give it another hour, give it an hour. If you're cooking dinner and it takes something in the oven, like you're doing a roast, and the roast takes an hour, you got 30 minutes that you can work on that, put water in the roast, and put 30 more minutes back into your shit. And you need to do that, especially if you're starting as an older person. If you're starting martial arts at the age of 12 or 13, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be cooking. I'm also pretty sure that you're going to have the energy that is necessary to put that shit in there. If you're starting off as like 18, 19, 20 and above, you're going to need to put that shit in there because you want to be as good as those little kids in class that are doing shit that you can't do because you didn't put in that fucking work. Alright? You're going to need to put in that fucking work. Also, practice, practice, practice. You will never be perfect for yourself, but you will be perfectly impressing other people. So what you need to do is just keep practicing. But again, you need to make it a way of life. You can't just use this shit as an exercise. You can't just use it as, oh, well, I go there because I want to hang with people. Alright? Here's where I become a hypocrite. If that's the only reason you're there, keep doing what you're doing, but make sure you're at least learning because you're paying for a service. Alright? If you're there just to hang out with people and you're paying for a service, make sure that you are participating and learning. Because y'all can hang out after, y'all can hang out before. But you're paying someone to teach you a service, you better put your fucking damn money and shit in the pocket. And the teacher that's teaching you needs to check on all of you. Okay? So did you know, anything that you're paying somebody to teach you, they need to do it right. And they need to be behind you 1,000. Alright? If you're fucking up, they need to correct you. And they need to work with you so that you don't continue to fuck up. And a lot of martial arts schools, they're behind the 8 ball on that shit. Like I said, Master Ennis wasn't a bad teacher. It's just that he neglected to see that I couldn't do Tosan and Tungu. Those are forms to earn my yellow belt and my 7th degree white belt in the Harite, aka Japanese Taekwondo. Now, for Tosan, you know, you start here, punch, punch, here, punch, punch. I did that wrong because it's actually supposed to be a block instead of a chop. So, you know, I can remember it until I had to do it. Once I start doing it, first step, block, punch, block, punch, step punch, block, punch step, block, punch and step. And then you're back here. And then you gotta do that shit like here and punch, here and punch and step, here and punch, and here and punch and step. There was a whole bunch of other shit that I done forgot about, but I couldn't do the shit. And then Tosan, I had to go from here to here, back over to here, back to center, back to here, back here. Basically, I'm making one of those stars when you draw with paper, like the Star of David. I don't know how many points, but you got to keep doing this shit, and you're all over the place. And every block is an ice cream scoop and like a crane stand, and I couldn't get that shit right. Master Ennis did not take 2 minutes out of his day to come and correct it. If I did anything wrong, front leaning rest position. If I couldn't get it right, front leaning rest position. There was no, let me work with you one-on-one so that you can get it right. Because sometimes, if someone works with you one-on-one, you can do it right while they're there, and then you can probably never do it right ever again. I am one of those people. So, if you would have worked with me, and I could have did it and got graded at the same time, then I would have got the white belt. It was a 7th-degree white belt. Then I would have got the yellow belt. Then I would have got the green belt. But I stopped at white belt because I just could not do the fucking katas. And he would ride my ass about not being able to do the katas, but he would never help me with the katas. See what I'm saying? I'm not saying he was a bad teacher. He just was not a great teacher for me. And now he's dead and gone, so it really doesn't matter. But the point being made is that he didn't work with me. And this is why I said, if a teacher is not willing to work with you, like you got 5 students, 3 of them are great. You take the other 2 off to the back, and you specifically work with them. If you get a star student in your dojo, he works with those 3 that are already excelling. But them 2 that don't excel at all, the teacher needs to be on their ass. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but he needs to be on them, making sure they got it right, making sure they understand. Because here's the thing about fighting and katas. A lot of people who do katas can't fight worth shit. A lot of people who can fight can't do katas worth shit. It's a different level, it's a different mindset, and you need to understand it. This shit doesn't make you a bad person. It just means there are some things that your body does not allow you to do. My body will allow me to fight. As far as katas, I fucking suck. Alright? So that's why I don't have a belt. But that's also why I can beat people who have belts. You know, it's because fighting is second nature to me. Katas is foreign as fuck. Alright? And again, every sensei that I've ever had has never really worked with me on katas except for one, and that would be Hiromi Johnson. I Hiromi, but everyone else was like, nah, well, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. I never got it. Period. And no one would take the time to work with me to make sure that I got it. Alright? Now, again, with Mr. Ennis for 3 years, it was the same bullshit. You know, you can do it, you can do it. And clearly he could see that I couldn't do it, but he wouldn't work with me so that I could. So when I left the dojo, because I ran out of money, he asked me the one thing that I'm going to tell you that no one agrees with, but I completely concur. He asked me, what could I do to improve the dojo? And I straight told him, we need to be able to fight for our belts. Put us in a gear or set some rules so that nobody gets hurt, but put us in the situation where the shit you're teaching us is going to work, where I don't have to sit here and try to do tongue goo to fight somebody. I will just be in the motion of, you throw a punch, I block the punch. You throw a kick, I block the kick. I switch to karate stance, you throw the punch, I block the punch, you throw the punch, I block the punch. You know, for those who don't know, block and kick, you know, those kind of things. Let me show you what I can do with what you have taught me to do. Alright? Instead of sitting here thinking, okay, we're going to do this. You're going to do Tungu, and then you're going to break a brick, and then you're going to break a board. Alright? I'm against all that bullshit. Every other dojo, you can have that shit. I don't care. But I will tell you straight, I'm against brick breaking. I'm against board breaking. Because just because you are strong enough to do that, doesn't mean you can't get your ass kicked. Alright? You might scare somebody from fighting. But there's always going to be that one person. Oh, you broke that brick? You think you hot shit? There's always going to be that one. And that one is going to be the guy that's going to whoop your ass because he doesn't give a flying fuck that you can break a brick with your fist. All you did was damage your fucking hand. Which means now, and plus bricks don't hit back into the boards. Now, if your hand is fucked up, and you can't defend yourself but with one hand and 2 feet, all he really has to do is not worry about your broken hand and then break the rest of you down. Now again, people are going to come at me, they're going to tell me I'm wrong, and that's fine, because I'm only wrong to you. I'm not wrong to me, because everything that I'm going to teach a person is going to fucking work. Why? Because I've been fighting since I was 6. Alright? No professional people would ever let me fight because I'm small. In fact, I was rejected by the UFC and other fighting places because they didn't have my weight class. When I get into the Army, now they have my weight class. Now I have a hip replacement. Now I'm 48 years old. No one's going to let me get a job fighting. Hell, I'd be lucky if they considered me for coaching. Alright? But a black belt is really only holding hands. It does help to have it when you're talking to people about jobs and dojos and ranks and shit like that. It does help to have it. But it's a system of control. And not all black belts can fight. Just keep that shit in mind. I am Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. And TikTok, if the live is still going. Thank you all for being. But I'm ending it now, and I'm going to go and post these videos. YouTube, you're going to have some issues with this computer, but I thank you for giving me your time. Thank you all for watching. I am Echo Fan Grey Wolf. Be seeing you. Same thing, stop.